Hello and welcome to my 16 or 17K Q&A project. I'm sorry for the microphone quality. I recently got a new computer and everything is really good with it besides the mic quality, so sorry that this sounds a little crunchy. Or if you hear like fan noises in the background, it's just like really loud, I guess. But it still works really well. So yeah, as you probably can tell by what I just said and by the title, this is like a Q&A project, so I just like put it I put a comment in my studio on my alt, and yes, a lot of people have been asking me, is OmbraTheFurry negative to my alt? It is. You can check the profile comments for confirmation. Yeah, I posted a comment on my alt in my studio asking for questions, and I'm just going to be answering the questions that I did receive. I'm not really sure if you're able to see the questions, so I'll just read them out. It like I took the screenshots on my iPad and uploaded them to Scratch through my iPad, but on my computer they look really hard to see, so I guess it depends on the quality of your device. So I'll just be reading them out here and there. Well, all of them, but you get what I mean. How do you feel about being a popular Scratch animator? It's okay, I guess. I never really expected to be this popular. I'm probably more popular than I think. I honestly don't think that I'm like that popular, but I understand that I am, like, when it comes to Scratch, but like when it comes to like comparing to the whole internet, I don't think I'm like that popular. But honestly, I feel like I am more popular than I think. It was really stressful at first when I was like younger, and I didn't like it hit me so fast, like like my population, like popularity exploded like in a really short amount of time. So I was like, I didn't really know what to do, and I didn't really have time to get used to it. Eventually I grew out of the stress, and now I have like no major negative feelings about it. Like there's a bit of stress here and there when it comes to like dealing with Scratch team and like impersonators and stuff, but honestly it's like not that bad. But in comparison to when I first started getting popular, I was so stressed about messages and art thieves that I would be able to focus during the day when I would be able to have access to my devices so that I could like check my messages and stuff. That is until I got banned, and it like forced me to take a break, and I took the time to like work on myself. And now I can have like 8,000 or more messages in my inbox, and I honestly couldn't care. Honestly, until like I actually go through them, obviously. Then it's like, oh, stop lagging. Do you have any art or coding tips? For coding, if you're doing like animation memes or like music synced projects or just synced projects in general, where you're using multiple sprites, and I would highly suggest using broadcast instead of like having a mess of timing code in each sprite, and then like being confused when it gets out of sync, because it will happen, especially on a laggy device. So always just use broadcast to keep everything in sync. And for art, I would just say always look at a reference. Just always look at a reference, even if it's just like a vague one. It just really helps. Just always use a reference. Do you like or have heard of Coraline, book or movie? Yeah, I've heard of it, but like I don't really know much about it, and I haven't really consumed any related media. Like I've seen it. I've seen it here and there. Like I haven't actually like looked at it or like read anything or watched anything. But I've seen like fan art and stuff here and there. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And it's a stop motion movie, right? So like honestly, I've seen like clips from it and some behind the scenes. That's incredible what people can do with stop motion. What are your favorite movies? My favorite like movies is like the trilogy Wolfwalkers, Song of the Sea, and Secret of Kells. It will always be one of my favorites, not only because of like the storyline and context and like content, but like the music and the visuals. Like that animation is incredible. I'm in love with the art style. It's just, if you look deeper into like symbolism and stuff, it's so interesting, and it's just, all three of them are really great movies. Wolfwalkers might be my favorite out of the three, but like it's only by a little bit. Song of the Sea is a really nice aesthetic. The Secret of Kells could have had a better ending, but it's still like so expressive and pretty, especially like during, I think, one of the climax scenes. It's great. I would really recommend it to anyone. Have you read the Silver Eye webcomic? No, I haven't. I don't really read webcomics, to be honest. Have you read Warrior Cats? Yeah, I've recently finished A Broken Code. Who's your favorite OC? Alright, don't make me choose. I love them all for different reasons. Alright? Just don't. How did you first learn to draw? Okay, so when I was writing down answers for this, like when these comments were first coming in, I read this as when did you first learn to draw, but not how. So what I had wrote down is like I've been drawing my entire life, and it's still honestly all I really do. I also attend a lot of like art classes, and I'm currently taking like an extracurricular one with a Disney animator, so that's super cool. Yeah, but like how did I first start drawing? I guess I just like I got paper and I I got some markers and I just did that.
You started drawing because your mother's awesome and made you draw when you were little.
I started recording when you said that. I'm keeping that in. I just wanted to add that there's like not much to starting drawing, you just do it. But my mother walked in. Pokemon, any thoughts? It's cool. Why green team? Referring to your profile picture. Purple is superior! I don't know, man. I found a random image that I saw, and I think it was concept art, and I just found it cool a while ago, and I just yoinked it. I don't really have any feelings for different colors. However, I do agree with you that the purple team is, like, superior only because I really like the color that they chose. It's just such a nice purple. How long have you been animating? I've been animating for a while. I tried frame by frame almost immediately after joining the site, like in the form of lip sync. It obviously wasn't very good because like I remember like vividly trying to mouth the action that I was doing as I was drawing it, but like I only did like keyframes and I didn't know like in between frames, so it was like really choppy and weird to look at. So I think like almost 5 years now. Yeah. What are some of your favorite games or TV shows? Minecraft, Night in the Woods, Shelter 2 are some of my favorite games, and Steven Universe was my favorite show with Gravity Falls a close second. I don't really watch shows very much, so like, yeah, those are just some that I've really enjoyed. Which OC is your favorite? Don't make me choose! Okay, but seriously, are we talking about like looks, like comparing looks, backstories, or both? When will you watch The Owl House? What's an OC in the past you made that you want to revise or revisit? Soon, Ollie. Soon, I promise. Also, I just like, honestly, almost all of my characters, like, even ones that I haven't released on Scratch, because, like, a lot of my characters really do need to be, like, properly, like, I need to sit down and properly develop them. Right now, like, a lot of my characters kind of just, like, concepts and, like, rugged ideas thrown together, but they're not really, like, as polished up as my main cast. So like, yeah, they all need to like just be polished up more to like fit into the world that I have better. Like, so yeah. I want my like developed world to just fit together really nicely. So I need to do a lot more work on a lot more different characters and aspects of that just to make that work. How do you animate? Scratch editor in both bitmap and vector. How long does it take to code a project? It depends on the complexity and how much motivation I have for it. It usually takes like at least 2 days, like obviously not 2 days straight, but like, yeah, over the course of 2 days I can usually finish something simple. And at most like a couple months, like if I work on it almost every day, like just a little bit. Usually projects that take multiple months would be like really big projects, and I wouldn't like put too much on myself to do too much in a day unless I actually really do have the motivation for it. When are you active? Every day. Like I'm active every day, but I check my messages roughly once or twice a month. How many characters do you have? Too many to count. I listed all of my like original characters, and the count was about like 90 and counting, because like that was like a month ago, or if not more, and I've made like a lot more characters since I listed them all, and that also wasn't including undeveloped or like fandom or shared characters that I have. And plus I'm constantly making more of those as well, so like it's pretty much infinity at this point. What do you do to bring motivation to code projects? Usually motivation just comes naturally, but sometimes I need to force it. I usually make a schedule for myself. Like I have this like little notebook that's like a little calendar thing, and I like write down what I want to do every day, but it's not like a lot to ask of myself, and it's like not mandatory. It's very flexible. And my motivation usually just like falls into the contents of the schedule. It really helps to see it down on paper, because then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get this done today, I'm gonna get this done today, so I can prepare myself mentally. Just like, hey, get the motivation to do this, this, and this. Are any of your OC's backstories done? Yeah. How do you come up with character designs? Usually I take inspirations from like a lot of different things that I see, and then like add a big concept of my own, like an original concept that I've developed. And then like to like actually develop the design itself, like I keep drawing the character over and over while adding and removing little details until I can like remember the design and like draw it off of memory. So that's like fresh in my brain and I can recognize the design easily. How do you draw clothing folds? Clothing folds are kind of hard to just like say. Usually I stick to like these shapes, and I tend to like, what I find myself doing whenever I draw clothing folds is that I go to like where the creases are or like where the bends are in the fabric first, and then I add like the other details after. Clothing folds took me a while to like get good at, so honestly my suggestion is to just go for it and try it until it comes easier. That's usually what I do with adding aspects to my art, like anatomy and stuff, so just go for it, man. What inspires you? My computer is screaming, so sorry if there's like fan noises in the background. A lot of things tend to inspire me. Just seeing other cool content really helps motivate me, because like I'm just like, oh my god, that's so cool, I want to be like that, I want to make this, I want to make this. I mean, just like look at all the things that people can make. It's honestly like incredible, and as time goes on, more and more talent is coming out of these like content creators and things like that. Like we're just like developing more and more, and it's just like incredible to see. Like just like when you see something that's really really cool, don't you just get that feeling that you want to make something like that impactful as well? Like you want to make a difference in someone else's life, like the way that animation or like that piece of content made a difference in you. Like it's just a great feeling. I also like love my characters and role plays with friends a lot. Like I really love to do role plays and stuff, and usually that tends to make me want to make things to like represent events that happen in that role play, just because of how like motivating and exciting that role play was. So it's super fun. It's just good stuff. What color are Draven's eyes if he has any? They're bright yellow and they really hurt to look at. What introduced you to Scratch? So like my dad wants me to get into like computer engineering or just engineering in general. So like 5.5-ish years ago, he sat me down in front of my computer with like Scratch pulled up on the webpage and told me to make something. So I did. And ever since then, I just got sucked into it. What motivates you to stay on this website? All of my friends and the people who support me, and the fact that this is kind of just like my main social media outlet and my own little crevice in the internet as of now. Like, if I post something, people are immediately gonna see it. I'll probably be expanding content onto different sites soon, but honestly, Scratch will always be a pretty major place for me. I feel most at home here, and even if my newer content doesn't fit in, but like I'm just most used to it. I know how to use it the best, and it just good feelings most of the time. When it's not good feelings, like it doesn't make me want to leave. It just makes me want to fix it. So like, yeah. Would you rather have scales or feathers? Depends on the type of scales, but either way, I'd probably choose feathers. Do most of your characters have depression, or are they just living in a bad place which makes them scared of their surroundings? If you're talking about my main cast, I don't think any of them actually have diagnosed depression, but there are a lot of other underlying mental and physical illnesses present. Like, for example, Smallfather has severe, complex PTSD, generalized anxiety disorder, and things like hand tremors and airway abnormalities. And Phoenix has schizophrenia and a form of chromosome 6 deletion, and like loading has an issue with this amygdala that causes him the disability to feel fear. And honestly, I think of him to have ADHD, but I'm not 100% sure if I want to make this canon yet. So yeah, things like that. I don't think any of them have like depression though. What's your favorite animal? Sorry. Serval cats or flying foxes, and copepods are pretty cool too. How and when did you come up with Smallfeather? Like, you showed me Phoenix was created on some gift, but where'd Smallfeather come from? So, basically before, like, Smallfeather became my main, I used to non-stop just, like, pump out characters, hoping one of them would be my next, like, big main character, because, like, I have had, main characters in the past, but, like, they weren't as prominent as Smallfeather. None of them have, like, definitely none of them have, like, lasted as long as he has. That in hopes that I'd like finally like find a main character, which I did. I made him alongside Kama, so they like both came out at the same time. He was actually based off of a design of a character I made for like a quote-unquote game my sister and I played in our pool. It was really old, and I think it was just like mostly for his physical appearance, like a tiny gray cat with a hood type thing. I wanted him to be like skittish and not at all helpful, or like just him being around wouldn't benefit people. I just wanted to do that just to see how like people or their characters would react, or like how they would deal with a presence that would most often not benefit them at all. Because there are a lot of things, everything in this world that are shunned and shamed unless they're like deemed beneficial by society. Like just for example, just a quick example, like Rudolph, he was shunned and like bullied until he was deemed like beneficial by Santa, for him to like light the way. Like he wasn't accepted until he was like deemed useful. And honestly, it turns out a lot of people harm those that they can't benefit from. Also, what my friend is referring to is an old art piece I did for like an old age home a while ago. I designed Phoenix on the spot with the help of my friend Ty the Tea Guy, like through text as a representation of myself. And then boom, Phoenix was my persona. Eventually she turned into both a character and a persona through role plays and stuff. Like she was originally a Night in the Woods character, and then she just like slowly turned into like her own thing, and now she's she's where she is today. Opinion on catfish? Okay, so apparently I haven't had it. Like I swear I have, but apparently not, according to my dad. I should ask him about getting it when we go traveling to visit family. I'm sure like we could get it in the area that we're going to, and like recently I did ask him and he said yeah, so I'll give you updates. What was the first character you've ever created in your life, if you remember? This sweet little thing. Her name was Kitty, but now her name's Salim, and I made her when I was like 3. And yeah, I do still use her, and she's got a twin sister named Minnow, which is also a pretty old design, but it's like not as old as Kitty was. I'll probably actually develop them both more so that I can actually use them soon. Do you play any video games? Yeah, but not often. I recently got Cuphead, so I've been like playing that. Who's your favorite singer or band? My favorite band is Tally Hall / Miracle Musical, but my favorite individual composer is Silver. Go check them out right now, they're all super talented, I swear. Do you like Friday Night Funkin'? Some mods are cool. I only like a couple of them, so I don't really know if that counts, and by like, I mean like I'm hyper fixated on them. I don't really like or support the community though, like the problematic side of it. Do you have any human original characters? Send help. Yeah, like 2. The only one I can remember as of now is a cultist guy that I have named Willie, I think. However, I do have human designs which you have seen, but like not for Loading and Draven because they're already pretty human-like. They're just humans with horns and different colors, and weird noses. I also have like a lot of humanoid characters, or characters who are like practically human if it weren't for their like cat ears or wings or something, so I don't really know if those count as human, but I guess they're close enough. What's the stupidest thing you've ever done on a dare? I have no idea, I don't remember. But there are some pretty wild dares that Smallfather had to do. Keep in mind he was forced to because he was asked dare or die instead of truth or dare, so congratulations on 16K. Thank you. What's your favorite animated movie and which has inspired you the most? I've already mentioned my favorite movies, but I'm just gonna say them again. Wolfwalkers, Secret of Kells, and Song of the Sea really inspired me a lot. I adore their art styles and like just like their animation styles, especially in Wolfwalkers, because it's just like so sketchy, but it's still so smooth. And fun fact, Smallfather's voice claim used to be similar to the main character of Song of the Sea, but it's different now. What's the most useful Scratch block? The when flag is clicked block. Without it, like, projects would like barely function. Who is your favorite artist of all time? Don't make me choose. I have quite a few and I love them all for different reasons. Do you have any pets? Yeah, I have a cat, a dog, and my sister has a lizard. I believe it's a bearded dragon. And I used to have 2 cats, but one of them passed away recently, so. Can I please pet Rena, my baby? Yeah, go ahead if you can catch her, honestly. I dare Smallfeather to hug Phoenix. No, I'm not saying it like the way the text is written. Best friend on Scratch? I have many. Zodiac? My Chinese Zodiac is Earthrat, and my normal Zodiac, or just other Zodiac, I guess, the one that you're actually referring to, I'm a Libra. How do I get my band account back? Okay, so for band accounts, the best thing you can do is just to appeal to Scratch Team in the most honest and respectful tone that you can. Like, that's what I did when I got banned, and my appeal was accepted. The way I wrote out my appeal was, like, I started with an introduction or greeting, and then I explained what I think I did wrong, and how I broke the guidelines that I was, like, aware of, and how I was willing to fix it. If I was given a second chance to come back on the site, and that I understood if they didn't want to let me back onto the site or if they wanted to like suspend me for longer, because remember that Scratch Team is like, they're in charge here and they're allowed to do what they see fit regarding the circumstances. So like, however, that doesn't mean that you're not allowed to like try to reason with them or make requests. So just try to be as respectful as possible and revise your appeal a lot to make it sound respectful and like honor honor the Scratch Team, no matter how hard it may be for you if you're upset in the moment. Good luck with your account getting back, by the way. What was your inspiration for your Cs, and do they have canon voices and lore? My main characters? Well, Phoenix was inspired off of May from Night in the Woods, which is like just the main character. You can probably see the most resemblance in their facial markings. Smallfeather is completely original. Rena was a redesign or like a revamp of a character that I had when I was like 6. It was like a really old design, but I guess I really liked how it looked, but it was like eye strain at the time, so I just like cleaned it up. Loading was made for a Minecraft roleplay and was inspired off the textureless Minecraft block phenomenon thing. And Draven was inspired off of a character from the show Hilda named Sigurd. You can probably really see the resemblance if you go and look at the character. Well, yes, I'll actually be posting a voice concept project soon, and I'll be working on polishing up lore. At the time that I'm recording this, it's not posted yet. I mean, like the voice project. It might be posted by the. It might be posted by the time this project is out, but like, yeah, I'll update this if it is. Hello. Hi. How long have you known about Scratch? For 5 or more years, because I used Scratch before I realized that accounts and saving projects were a thing I could do. Like the dumb child I was. How did you learn to code? Lots of dedication. I put a lot of effort into trying to understand what code actually was and how it worked instead of just using what looked good. Because like a lot of things that I've noticed about some of the newer animation memes or like trending templates and stuff is that people are using a lot of other people's code and kind of throwing it together, not really understanding how it actually works. This isn't like directed towards anyone in like specific, it's just something I've seen in general. Is just like more buggy, there's been an increase of buggy code, especially just like in like the trending portion of Scratch. So just like, yeah,
that's a lot.
Do you have any tips for drawing, like anatomy, textures, if that's the right word, etc.? Yeah, man. So like for anatomy, honestly, like I said before, like just go for it. Like you gotta pull up a reference, of course. Always use references. But like don't trace or anything, just use references so that you can see what's going on. Anatomy is just like one of those things that you have to just dive into it and go for it. When I started anatomy, all of my like drawings looked really muscular, but now I can pull up a lot of different body types. Anatomy takes a while to get down, so just keep going at it. Just keep going and going at it, and practice as much as you can, and eventually it'll polish up to something that you're comfortable with. If I were to go back and change one thing about what I did about anatomy, is that I would practice more like body types so that I wouldn't get used to drawing one specific body type, and it wouldn't be as hard for me to change how I draw different body types now. I've gotten really good at it now, but it was really difficult for me to start. Sure, again, it's just look up a reference. Eventually you'll find a way that works for you. I don't know what textures you're really going for here, but I'll just go with like two that I'm really familiar with. One of them is fur. Fur, fur. There's this thing in art that is called curves and straight, either straights or flats, I don't remember. But for fur, I tend to go with like double curves instead of the normal like curve versus flat thing, because it's kind of hard to explain, but like this is kind of like the basis of what it is. For fur, I ignore the flats part most of the time. Sometimes you need a couple flats when you're doing like long fur or like long hair or things like that. But yeah, it's basically just a matter of weight and like fluidity. Every single piece of fur should have like a line of action going through it, just as much as your initial pose should. I don't know if this really helped. Another one that I'm used to doing is like water, totally not blood. It's just water again. Is just like to get that feeling of flow and weight. It's like and like the center of it is gonna be, well, I guess like the thing that I'm most used to drawing is like water mid action. So there's gonna be like the impact part where there's like a kind of like a sheet, as well as like little projectiles that fly off. Projectiles usually have like a string attached to them, sort of. That's kind of what this thing is. But you have to be careful to make sure that that string looks really fluid. It's just as long as it looks like good. I usually just keep going at something until the weight and pressure of it finally looks good enough for my brain to be satisfied. And then there are going to be like little tiny flyaway things that aren't really attached to anything. So I guess with just like textures and stuff, you really got to look at reference and tutorials. There are a lot of good cartoon tutorials for a lot of different materials, so just keep an eye out for that. Do you have any coding tips like fluent, smooth motion, lifelike bop, etc.? For coding, if you're looking for smooth bops, I would suggest using decimals and repeat 4 blocks. It just makes everything so much easier because you can divide a lot of numbers by 4. And the decimals really add a lot of like smoothness that you can't really get with only using whole numbers. So just like, I guess you can use, well, of course you can. You can use a lot of my projects as reference when it comes to things like this. What project of yours caught everyone's attention and made you so popular? Secret Garden meme got on trending, and then it just exploded from there. I'd really like to write you a song because you once commented about my songwriting, but I haven't a clue what your music taste is. What songs could I use as an inspiration or reference for the song I'm making you? Dude, that would be like such an honor, like genuinely. Like still, like writing music's hard, and the fact that you would like to do that for me is a big honor. Also, I tend to like music of all kinds. Honestly, like any music is good. But recently I've been into like Adsilver's music. I really like weird music, I guess, quote unquote, like Miracle Musical and stuff like that. Just like really original sounding songs that like that just sound nice, you know? You know what I mean? Like the weird chord songs that I'm into, they don't sound like any other song that I know, but they still sound just great, and I love it. So I guess just any music would work, as long as it makes you feel good. Do you have any other animation tips, like frame by frame? Frame by frame just, again, takes a lot of practice, but what I would suggest is you just make two keyframes, and then you do like the transition frames between those two keyframes, and then you do the transition frames between the transition frames, and just keep going until you get like a smooth animation that you really like. Is Smallfeather a Bombay? What breeds are your other OCs? No breeds, they cats. Honestly, I don't know. I never really thought of that. Do you have any pets? And if so, did they and if so, did any of them inspire you to make an OC? Yes, I do have pets. I already mentioned it. And the one that recently passed away inspired a character named Speckle, and she's suffering from amnesia and trying to find her sister, aka my other cat who is still alive. What emotions do you feel when you see that I've remixed another one of your projects, because I remix them so often? Excitement, because I love seeing what people can create while using my project as a base, and it's always such an honor to see everyone's amazing creations and such. It's just a great feeling. Your profile picture is horrific. How long have you been making memes? As soon as I started like Scratch on my first like ever account, the first one I ever made was like a recolor, and the first original code or like original art, like all the content was completely original, was absolutely horrific. Do you have any Do you have any tips or tricks for aspiring artists? I talk too fast for my own good, send help. Yes, I do. If you're starting out, you might adopt another artist's art style that you look up to, and that's 100% okay. You are starting out, and that's perfectly fine. Over time, your art style will evolve into its own, and it'll just keep evolving and evolving the more you practice it, and you'll start to draw the way that like your brain has learned to draw, and just like you'll develop your own original thing. Honestly, like that's what I did. I've been taking like aspects of other art styles that that have caught my eye forever now, and it mixes all together into my own personal taste, which eventually just creates my own art style. So just if you're a new artist and you're kind of just like adopting someone else's art style, that is 100% okay. Stick with it. You're beautiful, your art is beautiful, and it will eventually make a difference in someone's life. Would you rather have a dog or a cat? I have both, but I'd honestly rather have a cat because it fits how I function better. Okay, we finally actually got through all of that. Thank you for much. Sorry. Thank you so much for submitting questions. And I really hope you enjoyed this, even though it was super long. Yeah. Thank you for 16 or 17k, or just like all the support that you guys have given me. I really do appreciate it. I cannot stress enough how like good it makes me feel and how supported and welcome it makes me feel. So yeah, have a great rest of your day or night, and remember to take care of yourself. See ya! Okay, so, hi, it's Future Ombra. It took me a very long time. This project isn't even done. Like, it's not even finished, but I'm not gonna finish it, so I figured I might as well post it the way it is now. A lot of what I said is outdated. Well, not a lot of, like, there is a significant chunk of what I said that was outdated, but it's like mostly unimportant things. But take everything I say here with a grain of salt. Most of it's not very accurate anymore. And to make up for that, for 200 followers on Tumblr, which is coming up soon, I will be doing another Q&A thing, but this time it will be live on my YouTube channel, and you'll have, for those who are interested, there will be much more up-to-date information being shared, as well as, live responses, so you won't have to wait genuinely 2 years, like everyone who submitted questions with this one did. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Bye-bye!